Hello. So let's go over my politics, my light side politics or Senate deck today. Again, this is no virtual cards and no defensive shields. This deck could definitely be played with defensive shields by just adding the card and then the defensive shields, of course. But me and my play group, we just don't play defensive shields right now. So let's get right to it. I may have mentioned in the last video that I did that I was going to go over Destroyer Droid deck next, but I played a couple games with that and did not go very well, so I'm kind of revamping that deck a bit before I share it. So yeah, again, this is a Senate and Politics deck for the light side. As of a couple weeks ago, I had zero experience playing against or playing a Politics or Senate deck. Something that I was completely foreign to me, but seemed like it'd be an interesting deck to try and get together, so I did. There are a lot of Episode 1 cards in this. I personally really like the Episode 1 cards. I think that some of the mechanics from the Episode 1 sets are kind of neat, and I think some of the cards are really fun to play with. I think the art on them is awesome. So anyway, I'm a big fan of the Episode 1 decks, but on one of the big problems with the Episode 1 cards is they're pretty hard to find right now, and they're expensive. They've gone up in value quite a bit just in the last couple of months even. It's kind of crazy, really. But yeah, let's get to it. So this is, of course, the objective. Plead my case to the Senate and sanity and compassion. There's a lot of stuff going on here. This deck kind of plays somewhat like the Watch Your Step deck, where you're kind of grinding and trying to get some force drains here and there, and use some of the stuff that some of these cards give you to kind of grind out a win in the end. But anyway, just kind of read through some of the stuff. You start with the Galactic Senate and any other Episode 1 location. So yep, of course we got the Galactic Senate, and then the Episode 1 location here is Coruscant Jedi Council Chamber. Give you 3 force and get you a Yoda, which is pretty cool. In some ways, I kind of think that if anybody's playing with any deck where they're trying to do something with the Jedi Council Chamber and they want to get that out right away, it kind of feels like using this objective is if you're not playing with any other objective, you might as well use this objective just to get the Jedi Council Chamber out. For people, like I said, who are trying to think of, I know there's people who are trying to think of decks to do with Jedi Council, and I don't know, maybe it's just a lost cause, but anyway. So you get out those 2 locations right away. Remainder game, Rebel Imperial Leaders, ability less than 4, politics +2. So, basically what that means is when it comes to in the Senate, you gotta have your characters with politics. If you don't have any of those, you can actually do some stuff in the Senate with Rebel and Imperial Leaders of ability less than 4, where your politics are +2. Because the thing with the Galactic Senate is during battles here, your character's power is equal to that character's politics, which is, kind of interesting. So, later on here in the objective, you'll see that weapon destiny draws are all -6, creatures are lost, and game text of non-Republic characters is canceled. So like a lot of those dark side smugglers and bounty hunters that let you draw like extra battle destiny and stuff like that, that's all gone. So anyway, Imperial and Rebel Leaders of ability less than 4, you'll be able to have power 2 on those guys. Otherwise, you probably just don't want to mess around in the Galactic Senate if you don't have some senators. Then flip this card. You have 3 senators or 2 senators, at least one with a peace agenda at the Galactic Senate. So you flip it, and then all kinds of stuff happens. During your control phase, 3 force to place 2 random cards from opponent's hand in their use pile. That's an awesome ability. Once per turn, may take a political effect into hand from reserve deck. That's kind of what your goal is. The political effects, which we'll show you later, are pretty cool. They add a lot to being able to battle anywhere. Senators of Destiny +2 when drawn for battle or weapon destiny, +3 if they have an order agenda, which is also pretty good. And then 2 force the end of turn to place all cards on your political effects into your use pile, and we'll go into how to use political effects too and how they kind of work. So there it is. There's the objective. Okay, so We got the old starting interrupt here, heading for the medical frigate, of course, which get those 3 effects out right away. If you're not playing with this card, if you're not familiar with this card, you better just go on eBay and buy like 3 of them right now, because you're going to want to put this in every one of your decks. The 3 starting effects here, Insurrection and Aim High. Mostly because it allows you to go get a docking bay from your reserve deck, put it into play. There's the only other locations in this deck are docking bays, and that's completely so that you can go get them with this card. And then, of course, opponent retrieving X cards must use X Force. That retrieval is canceled. That does come in handy now and then. Staging areas adds force generation to docking bays you occupy or you control, and that's it. That can really add a lot to your force generation. You'll see I've got home 1 in here, for example, the home 1 docking bay. Whenever I can, first turn is go get home 1 docking bay with Insurrection and Aim High, and then hopefully just deploy somebody on home 1 docking bay, since it doesn't, hopefully somebody cheap cost that I've got in my hand, so that I can add an extra with the docking bay itself, +2, add an extra 3 force next turn to my force generation, and then draw their fire. It's kind of a neat thing when you initiate a battle, you get to go retrieve a force, defender loses 1 force. And the part about your opponent having to use force to play interrupts during battle, that does actually come in pretty handy pretty often too. But you do actually want to be somewhat aggressive with battling with this deck. For the non-Senate, the non-political characters in this deck, there's not a lot of them, but they all do revolve around being very aggressive in your battling. So let's go over the political package. So for politics, we've got 3 Queen Amidala, ruler of Naboo's. And one interesting thing about Queen Amidala, she plays like a senator, and then she's got politics, but she's actually not a senator. So you can actually place her on a political effect along with a senator. This is like the only card where you can, you'll see the political effects. You can deploy a senator on a political effect, and it does something. But you can only deploy one senator on a political effect. But Queen Amidala, it actually runs around that because she's not technically a senator, but you can place her on a political effect like she is. So there's a little double bonus with her when it comes to placing her on political effects. So if possible, you may not want to put her in the Senate. You may want to keep her for political effects. But she does have a neat ability there where she can retrieve 1 force for a Naboo site you control if you have a Senate majority. We've got Senator Palpatine, and he definitely is the guy that you want to get into the Galactic Senate right away if possible. Politics of 4, which is pretty good. And then his ability here, if opponent just drew a battle destiny, you can use 1 force to add its destiny number to your total power in that battle, as long as you have a Senate majority. So that is very strong, and that, so you can use that like anywhere, any other site where there's a battle, to help your attacking. And then Amidala, if Amidala's there with him, she is politics +1. Horks, 3 of him as well. His agendas are kind of what we're looking for, and which we'll see, this is important to the political effects. And then the ability where opponent may not draw more than 1 battle destiny at battleground systems is pretty strong too if you're fighting somebody. There's a small space package in here, but it is a small but very good space package. And then I've got 3 other senators in here. Leanna Marion, Tandu, and Urua, which he's kind of in here because he's a 5 power. So I may not, if I don't put him in the Galactic Senate and I draw him some other time, I might actually use him to battle at a different site. Political effects. So here's one. Gravest circumstances. May place a senator here from hand to add 3 to a battle destiny just drawn. Pretty good. And then with the taxation agenda, if the senator there is a taxation agenda, you can do the make opponent use or lose a force, which is kind of nice sometimes. Ascertain the truth. This one, deploy a senator on here to subtract 3 from a battle destiny. So if you get these two going and you've got a couple of senators in your hand to play down on there, battles will go very well for you. And then Plea to the Court, and then this one is on here to cancel an opponent's force drains, and then canceling a weapon destiny draw and causing a redraw. So some little tricks there that could come in very handy. We've got 3 Might of the Republic, which allows you to... The main reason is it allows you to go get a senator from your deck if you need one, which is very handy. You might be able to get the right one you're looking for, too. Used Interrupt, 5 Destiny. Good card. And then the once per game, retrieve 1 force feature your senator as a Galactic Senate. You're going to end up doing that, too, at some point, probably. So you're going to hopefully retrieve a few force with that, too. And then we get into the non-political stuff here. So Obi-Wan with lightsaber, 2 of them. These guys with the political effects. You're going to be aggressive. You're going to be battling. You're going to be killing some characters. We got two Qui-Gon Jinns with lightsabers, and then we got 2 Luke with lightsaber. And so these are kind of our battle package. Lando, Scoundrel, pretty good at battling too, adding that battle destiny. Got a Leia in here, and I've got a Corran Horn in here. And these, don't tell anybody that I play with, but these 2 are in here just because they are spies, and the guys that I play with like to use the staging areas, for example, to get that force generation on those docking bays that give the free force, and it can be quite the game changer to jump them with a spy, ambush them there, and jump them with a spy and maybe 1 or 2 other characters, and just blow them out at one of those sites, and also kind of keeps them honest too on that docking base stuff. So that's the whole reason those are in there, mostly because of their spy ability. Yoda, so got to put him in there because of Galactic Senate. And then I got one altar and 1 sense card in here. I chose the altar and friendly fire, and then the sense and recoil and fear cards. I felt like those were the two best ones, the best options to do for a sense and an altar, because you can go get with Yoda, you can go get a sense or an altar once per game. So if you feel like you can kind of pick and choose which one you want when you need to go search for them, but those are the 2 that I've went with. And then 3PO, this part showing, he's in there because you can go get cards. You can put cards that you don't want in your hand, drop them down to draw more cards. So that's the whole reason why he's in there. 3 Jedi Resilience. They got their 6 Destiny number, and then you can save one of your Jedi with lightsaber. Basically, something to know. Luke with lightsaber. Luke is not actually a Jedi on Luke with lightsaber, which is kind of too bad. But he's only ability 5, so you can't actually save him with Jedi's Resilience, even though got a picture of Luke right on there, of course. I put in Gift of the Mentor in here, and this is just kind of a card. Just if I've got a Luke and an Obi-Wan in a battle, or even Luke and Yoda in a battle, adding 2 battle destiny can really surprise your opponent. Inconsequential barriers, since you want to be aggressive with these guys with lightsaber, you're probably going to be playing against people playing Imperial barriers quite often, and that they might, again, kind of tricky, because they might be banking on their Imperial barrier to stop you from really having a big battle, and you can cancel that Imperial barrier with the inconsequential barriers. And then Clash of Sabers. This is kind of the Rebel barrier for this deck. So yeah, good card. Can really surprise an opponent. And then, sorry about the mess, and Blaster Proficiency. Firing a weapon during your control phase and causing any hit targets to be immediately lost. That can really mess some people up. We wish to board at once. Okay, so we'll get into some of the effects. There's I think 4 effects in here. that are very good, that'll assist you, and we want to go get those. So we got a couple of We Wish to board at once to try and go get those other effects. Senate Hover Cam. Force Generation is +3 at the Galactic Senate if you have a Senate majority. Getting this out early, right away, is huge. Goonie Tay, very powerful card. Really can slow down your opponent when they have to play 2 extra force to play in a character of ability greater than 2. Bacta Tank, good for your guys with lightsabers to bring them back. If you get this going, it's pretty tough on your opponent. And then Docking and Repair Facilities. Again, the space portion of this deck is small, but it is very powerful. And this allows you to do some kind of crazy things with primarily Han, Chewie, and the Falcon. So I've got 2 Han, Chewie, and the Falcons in here. And then the only other starship is the Spiral. I mean, Han, Chewie, and the Falcon is just super strong. Adding a Battle Destiny. He starts out with 9 power right away, 7 hyperspeed. He is 6 to deploy, and then he does have an upkeep of 3 force. So this card is a commitment, but you can, I don't want to say dominate in space almost with just this one card, but immune to attrition less than 6. But you will definitely be able to do some interesting things in space with this card when you get it going. And there's some other assistance to this card that I'll show you here that make it hard on your opponent too. And then Spiral, deploy -3 as it react is kind of fun. You kind of surprise opponent there. And then we've got Life Debt. So again, small space package, but doing some fun things. So Han and Chewie are battle together, add to Battle Destiny. So yeah, you can have, let's see, Han, Chewie, and the Falcon adds a Battle Destiny. So you've got 4 Destiny with Han, Chewie, and the Falcon and Life Debt. Crazy, right? So 2 Life Debts in here. All wings report in Darklighter spin. Mostly for the Battle Destiny, same as Maneuver for Han, Chewie, and the Falcon. Guarantee yourself a 6 Destiny for one of your draws is never a bad thing. And then the last 3 cards are the 3 docking bays we got in here. We got the Naboo docking bay in here because you got to control a Naboo location to retrieve a force with Queen Amidala when she's in the Senate. And then we've got the spaceport because you can deploy that most anywhere you want to. Can't deploy it to Bespin, Dagobah, Endor, Hoth, or Yavin 4, but that allows you to deploy it to a lot of places if you want to. So kind of wherever you feel it fits best. You could deploy it to Naboo also, next to your Naboo docking bay. And then Home 1 docking bay, and again, that's just the free force. Try to get that out early and put maybe a weak senator on it or something like that so you can increase your force generation. So yeah, I don't know if anybody has any strong experience with these Senate politics decks and they want to, give me any tips, any ideas, things to do here, definitely let me know. I'm all about some extra ideas. This is pretty strong. I played a couple games with it. It is pretty strong. It is beatable. Like if there's anybody who doesn't play, doesn't like playing these kind of decks, or doesn't like playing against or with these kind of decks because they think they're just too powerful. I mean, this deck is definitely beatable. I think they really did. I actually think they did a really good job with the politics mechanic. Like I said, it's strong, but it is beatable. And it's not the easiest deck to play with. So yeah, I don't know. I've had fun playing this deck, and if anybody has any advice or any tips on anything, let me know. Thanks, guys.